Hello guys, my name is Anna and I'm a Ukrainian, and I have decided I will vlog daily from my country Ukraine since the start of this awful war with Russia. And in my daily videos I try to update you on the important real-life situations in my country Ukraine, and of course I'm always glad to answer your questions and to clarify some facts from our history, culture, background, or whatever interests you. And it is the last summer weekend in Ukraine, and you know, in Ukraine we are very much connected not to the weather but to the calendar. I guess this is one more Soviet heritage aspect, that for us summer ends on the 31st of August. That's why on this last summer weekend many people try to go closer to the lakes, to the forests, and I have visited one not far away from my home and will show you. Definitely that's not a place I would prefer to stay for night, but it demonstrates very much the style of various camping places that were popular at the end of the Soviet era and also at the beginning of the 90s. And still people use them, but the majority of people come here just for a short rest and then go back home to sleep. A typical lake in my region, Volyn. Volyn is famous for lakes, more than 200 of them, just like lake districts in Britain perhaps. Very peaceful water, clean water, sand underneath, fish, and traditionally they are surrounded by forests. Many of them are pine forests or other trees. And it all looks very nice. I personally like lakes, maybe because I come from a very rich in them region. This is how a typical camping will look like. Many of these houses, they are pretty old, made of wood, but they are fun during the summer. When I was a child, we often stayed in similar places, so looking like that. By the way, yellow and blue, people grilling something, and very close to the lake. Personally, I hate the fact that they bring cars so close to the lake. Such things should be forbidden. This is a small road to a parking lot and sand. And how do you call this pine things? I don't know, but I liked collecting them when I was a child. So people are everywhere as it is a high season, and it all looks like that. The buildings, the houses are cheap. It's often hot inside, but many people like having rest in that, close to tents, you know, or something like that. I think the majority of them were built during Soviet era or early in the 90s. Lots of places where you can eat outside, barbecuing, grilling something. So it all looks that way. I can tell you there are lots of campings like that around Ukraine, and they are more popular among elder people. And I love pines. There are lots of pines in my region. Maybe this is the tree that I personally mostly associate with Volyn, and it all smells so well. Very much sand, as this is a typical kind of soil, if it's possible to say so. When I was a child, I was always terrified of this kind of houses where people could also live. They are made of iron and they get really, really hot, just like trailers or something. And for me, I would never agree having a rest there, because like, no, thank you. But these houses, they look more fun. And also many people try to buy land here and to build their own. Well, don't think that all rest zones in Ukraine look like that. This one is definitely an old style, Soviet style base, and perhaps this bottle serves for washing your hands or something, I don't know. But you see, people don't live here, and the majority of people come on cars just to have fun in the lake and to return back home. And once again, I like pine trees, the smells they give, and some new houses that people give them for rent. But anyway, if you like various films about maniacs who live in the woods, that might be the one. Now I will show you something totally unbelievable. This is an old, I don't know, car of a train. How do you call that? A train car that was changed into a suit, and it was even considered a luxury suit because there you can like have a shower and a kitchen. Well, it's not used anymore from what I see, but it looks kind of unbelievable, right? Have you ever lived in such unusual places? Not a tree house or something, but a train car that was turned into a room. One more interesting technology for washing your hands and face in the forest. You can put water in there and use it as a sink, or I don't know. Well, I have never tried a rest like that. I would always demand my parents to send me to good camps or other places. I prefer maybe fewer days of rest, but in better conditions. But that's interesting because it gives you a glimpse of what was rest like somewhere in the 90s, in the 80s, in Ukraine and many other countries. And you see smoke because people love grilling in Ukraine and making shashliki, which is similar to a grill, but with smaller pieces of meat on iron sticks. I don't know how about you, but I personally love forests, and I love walking into the forests. And you see here we have an oak and lots of pines. I love the way they smell and even the sound that they produce, small clickings when it's really hot. For me, this is a synonym of my region, and I like it all very much. And the skies. Thank you very much for watching, and I do understand there are lots of flaws that I have demonstrated in this video, but Ukraine has a huge tourist potential, and I do believe that after this awful war finishes, many people will come and discover history, culture, nature of Ukraine, and the potential is really great. And all of us are very grateful for the opportunity to spend a day in the sun, taking into account that so many regions in Ukraine are now deadly dangerous. So I do invite you to come and see my beautiful country, but of course when it is safe. Thank you once again for watching. Thank you for supporting me, buying me coffees, becoming my patrons, and most importantly, supporting Ukraine. Slava Ukraini!